Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I mean, you guys are saying I'm on. Hold on. Let me wait 30 seconds until they hear me.
Oh, they can hear you. You're on.
They can hear me. They're saying that they can hear me.
Right.
I mean, hello.
It just hasn't got to me.
Can you hear me? Yes, audio. Yay, audio, says Christine. Okay. Sound now. Volume. Okay, yes. Clips. No, I'm not smoking pot. It's the computer that was smoking pot. All right, guys. It is, unless you were lip reading, you didn't hear me say this. It is Monday, April 20th, 2020. And yes, we are live. A little bit of a rough start, but it's better than yesterday's start. Oh, man. Yesterday I was not on my show. I'm sorry, guys. We just couldn't get the stream going. But here we go.
Break it. Put more pressure on it. No, you're not breaking my neck good. Break the neck. Put your weight on it. I said, get off it. Kick in your face. Watch this.
Oh, kick in the face. He's wildin'.
You see this, Joel?
Off that.
Oh my God, Falcon. Oh no. Oh my God. This is New York. Oh my God, this is crazy.
Crazy. I'll tell you guys what that was in a second.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey, guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, what's up, guys? I am James Hake. This is the Hake Report, and welcome to the show. What you just heard, if you're listening to the audio podcast or you're not watching the video, was a video clip of a New York, presumably police department cop. Patrice O'Neill Groyper gave a diamond already and said female cops are a mistake. I don't know, was that a female cop? Certainly acted like one.
That was indeed a female cop, and I was just about to say the same thing Patrice O'Neill Groyper said is they just don't have the strength to deal with these people. She got kicked. How'd she get kicked? 20 feet away and off the trail. Lord have mercy.
That was so bad. That was, you know, I think proper training could get a female cop could at least, and it sounded like the criminal, because that's a criminal at that point, right? We don't know why he was stopped, but he was being pinned down, and he's like, "You're not pinning my legs down good." Didn't it sound like he was saying something like that?
Yeah, something crazy.
So there's two cops, pinning down this. I think it was a black dude.
Yeah, he
Sounded kind of foreign to me, or maybe just on something. He's like, "You're not pinning my legs down good," and I think he said that, and then he starts kicking out, and almost like knocks the. I guess it was a girl.
Yeah,
according to Patrice and Joelle, down, and she or whatever it was maybe this a cop is a transgender and goes by they.
It's a weekday.
Yeah, normally transgenders are strong, right? I don't speak from personal experience. I just heard things. But wow, that was like shocking. And so what happens, guys, people who are listening, was this cop, Joelle said it, got kicked in the head. You know, this person is just launching up. One cop is on his head and has his head down, or his shoulders, but he just kicks from the ground, and the cop just goes falling backwards a few steps, falls back onto the platform, and then kind of goes backflipping down onto the subway tracks And I don't know how she must have had, she must have fallen right or something, gotten lucky, because she fell onto the tracks.
Yeah.
And she got right up.
I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt and say that it was on her 12th hour of the shift. She was tired. But it's like, that's a perfect example of in the training to become a cop.
Yeah.
They lower the standards for women.
Yeah, that's true.
As if women are not going to be dealing with men, drug addicts who have this crazy amount of strength because they're on drugs.
But the drug addicts are never supposed to hit a woman. So that was terrible. I had to share that with you. I don't know if Jesse showed it yet, because sometimes I miss parts of the Jesse Lee Peterson show. If not, I'm sure he will. But it went viral. That was from NY Scanner on Twitter. NYPD cop kicked onto the subway tracks by a suspect resisting arrest. What a shame. I had to show that to you. Skip, that's some out-of-control black news for Skip. The snake from Augusta, Georgia. But I have a lot to get to you, actually, guys. Did you guys catch Jesse Lee Peterson's appearance on the Kill Stream on Friday? The Ralph Retort? Ethan Ralph is author of the Ralph Retort blog, and he's a writer, but he's also the host of the Kill Stream. And he's had Jesse Lee Peterson on his show at least a couple of times now. And this most recent time, on April 17th, the Friday evening. And it was live on D Live, and then there was a mirror stream on YouTube. And he debated Ruby Spacek, 30-something-year-old, I guess, feminist, progressive woman, ex-drug addict. She's very open about her life. And Jesse said that Hake is still a virgin. Because somebody gave a super chat and said that Ruby should get with Hake. But I think based on the chat that maybe she's with Atheism is Unstoppable. Who's Devin Tracy? Well, I don't know if whatever. That guy. Who's a fellow fan of the Jesse Lee Peterson show. That's cool. But he's like a sort of a liberal, but he doesn't fall for the racism thing. And Nick insists, I don't see a ring. She's not married. So maybe I can steal her from him. I don't know. She said that she likes beta males. So what do you say? Anyways, did Jesse show the clip of the Venice skate park getting filled up? Yeah. Okay. Because I have that clip too, but you guys saw it. If you watched the Jesse Lee Peterson show, make sure you check it out. Venice Beach is a famous beach, and it has a famous skate park, and I've been there a couple of times. Not to skate, because I'm not a skater. Only on the video games. Skate or die. But it's a shame. Like, this is like perfect time to exercise. These guys are not going to get each other sick. Please. They're not going to spread coronavirus by going to the skate park, are they? In my opinion, no. Let me just show this to you, because I just have to keep these things moving because I have so much to get to. And I want to get to your calls too. 888-775-3773. Here's the city of Los Angeles being lame. You know which clip it is? Yeah. Let's do this. Tractor. This was last week. Pushing sand. Venice Beach. It's a ghost town there. Filling up this skate park. And by skate park, hopefully you can hear me over the din. The skate park is, no, you can keep it loud because it doesn't affect, I don't know. This skate park is like concrete or cement or whatever. Looks like a bunch of swimming pools. And they do cool tricks. But no, they can't do that anymore. No more fun for you. Skateboarding is not a crime. I'm with the skaters on this one. Since they put sand in the skate park, maybe they will put concrete over the sand at the beach. Says Baba Gotu guy. Yeah, maybe so. What a mess. And you know what? There's like no property rights. I was reading these stories in, Los Angeles Times. No, in Los Angeles specifically. from Los Angeles. People don't have the right to their own property. What a mess. You know, and I've told you these stories of these guys going out kayaking. And kayak is that boat, single person boat that people exercise, you know, go out on the water and exercise and row for hours on end. They get in trouble. Ridiculous. You can't get any more socially distanced than that and also get sunlight and fresh air. Those are the best things for you. But they want to call that non-essential or something. Oppressive people. So there have been a lot of protests around the country. And speaking of oppression, Owen Schroyer was promoting one of these protests Owen Schroyer being the guy from InfoWars. I guess he's like the second in command or something, whatever. Under Alex Jones, Owen Schroyer was not yet banned on Twitter. Well, now he's been permanently suspended on Twitter for promoting, reportedly after Media Matters, the far lefties that RINOs and liberals listen to. They did a hit piece on Owen Schroyer of InfoWars for promoting a rally that was supposedly flouting social distancing guidelines, right? And so the mom, which is the social media people, or I don't know, whatever, but the social media people, Twitter, permanently suspended him for setting a bad example or something stupid like that. Actually, I don't think that they even gave a reason, but they suspended him. And I was interviewed by this guy who's been put down a little bit in social media, but not a lot, not compared to some. Richard Spencer, he's pretty hated though. Richard Spencer of the alt-right. He said that, maybe we're done with this social media censoring people and shutting people down and closing people's accounts. Well, I don't think it's done, actually. And by the way, book burners, Amazon.com. I meant to tell you guys this. This happened over a week ago. Amazon, which sells books online and movies and everything now. I bought a Confederate flag T-shirt before they banned Confederate flag sales on Confederate flag paraphernalia. They called it on Amazon years back. Right around the time that Dylan Roof committed his mass shooting, they started attacking the Confederate flag as if it had anything to do with it. Stupid. But they have pulled Mike Cernovich's movie Hoaxed about the media hoaxes. Interesting. Still available on iTunes or Apple Movies, whatever you want to call it. So you can get it there. I've watched the first 20 minutes or so of it. It's good. So far, so good. Covers a lot of lies that went out in the media about Trump, about people, about former feminists. And it's a mess. Just mess. And they're attacking whites and Christians with the Democrats. I was listening to American Liberty with Bill Lockwood, and he had a guest on Saturday. He had a guest who said that there's government officials saying that if churches take any coronavirus stimulus funds, that they're going to have to hire any transgender or LGBTQIA plus person who comes along. Churches will have to hire homosexuals if they take government money. That's why you don't take government money. It's corrupting. By the way, speaking of censored people, Poseidon. You know how I covered Poseidon covering Jesse a year ago? And I just barely had come across it. Poseidon being this Greek man. I don't know if he's in the alt-right, but he's kind of in that genre, right? He's a commentator. He comments on cultural things, and he's criticized America's relationship with Israel, how America supports Israel, and then Israel, according to him, is not our friend. And maybe he may be making good points, but he attacked Jesse Lee Peterson as like not a friend or whatever like that to whites. And it was interesting. He pretended to be a Christian. Well, he acted like Greece, because he's from Greece, I guess, is a Christian country, and Israel is a Jewish country, not anti-Christian. They're anti-Christian. And then he didn't identify with Christians like Jesse. He identified more with whites, people who share his common DNA and culture and whatever. Interesting. And so I covered it. I played his video about Jesse Lee Peterson, Jesse Lee Peterson's interview with Soph, and he commented on my video. That's nice. He said, "Thanks for covering it. Although we disagree, you were fair. And I'm going to play your stream on my stream," he said. So I'll have to check out if he played my video on his own video. By the way, so that's cool. Check it out. Last Wednesday, I guess it was, before we started having all these computer problems. Mess. By the way, it's April 20th. It's the 21st anniversary since the Columbine, Colorado school shooting. I was a senior in high school, 1999. It's almost here, 1999. And that was the first school shooting that I was aware of that kicked off all these copycat ones. And the media kind of encourages them to happen. And the attack on whites has gotten worse, you know, with Obama coming into office, this LGBTQIA push, this promotion of giving drugs to everybody, so many medicated people, and attack on men, boys. So it's only gotten worse. More and more shootings happening. Well, I don't know if more and more shootings are happening, but it seems like it. The way that the media covers it, right? It's kind of like how blacks get fooled into thinking that, oh, all these cops are going after the blacks, when in reality, it's just media is hyper-focused on those incidents. But April 20th, and it's also Hitler's birthday, I learned. Is that why they did that Columbine, Colorado shooting? I don't know what they were about. It was two young males who attacked the Columbine, Colorado. And speaking of Colorado, you may have heard in Hake News today that the governor of Colorado, Google this guy, just to show you a picture of him. I mean, he is, speaking of, like, Colorado has only gotten worse. Colorado, the governor, is a brazen, shameless homosexual. What the heck? And he has a partner, domestic partner, which means a homosexual. They call him the first gentleman. And he's a LGBTQIA activist. They're gays. And they have 2 kids. Don't know whose is whose. Because with 2 guys, they can't have kids. But so if you find a picture of him, it's Polis. Yeah, Jared Polis. Polis. Speaking of Greek, is that Greek? Maybe I'm wrong. Jared Polis. And he has a husband. Fake husband, right? So that's gross. And did this virus originate in Wuhan, China, in that lab? Did it originate in the lab, or did it originate in that market? We don't know what's going on. What a mess. By the way, did you watch The Fallen State? There's Jared Polis. He's 44 years old. I think, something like that. He looks a little older, in my opinion. And then his so-called partner guy is 38. But, dude, I'm sorry to show this stuff to you. It reminds me of the guy who's in charge of Ireland. The country of Ireland is also cucked. And by that, I mean they've surrendered what's right to elect as Prime Minister of Ireland. They call it something else, some weird name. A gay guy. Gay. So, oh, this is funny. Let's get to some better governors. Ron DeSantis is the governor of Florida, and then I will get to your calls. Appreciate you guys hanging on. Ron DeSantis is the governor of Florida, and if you're not watching, make sure you come over to the video and watch. Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, right? He said, let's not monkey this up before he got elected. And he was running against that Andrew Gillum guy who's had some scandals, right? Since then. But Orlando Sentinel reports, mask slightly askew, DeSantis encourages Floridians to go outside. And that's nice. I appreciate that from Ron DeSantis. And so I have a clip for Joel. This is from a radical homosexual tweeted this out and said, allow me to introduce to you the governor of Florida. They're trying to make him look stupid. And he does look a little silly because he's putting on this mask. And well, look at this. I don't want to spoil it completely. It's a 10-second little quick clip. There's Ron DeSantis. He's having to put on his mask. And he puts it on. It's on. It's on, right? But if you look closely, there's another strap hanging down that's not on. So was he supposed to put both straps around his head? Or did he put it on sideways? Were those straps supposed to go around his ears? Or what? But it definitely doesn't look like it's giving a proper seal. Looks like there's air holes above his cheeks. With this, I have a couple pictures. Did I put the pictures in there? Yeah. But you can tell that I feel that he feels that he looks stupid putting this mask on. And that's why I respect Trump not even putting this mask on. Because who cares? You don't need to be wearing it. The mask is to protect other people from you. Nobody needs to protect themselves. Ron DeSantis doesn't need to protect other people from him. But that mask does not look right. And so they're making fun of him. Let me just show that clip one more time because it is kind of funny the way that he just doesn't know what we're doing. Puts it on.
That you will fight with us jointly as
Putting
we work to defeat this pandemic.
Right on, Ron.
It's been great.
I like that guy. I mean, I don't like him as much as Trump. I don't trust him completely. I don't know him. But there's Ron DeSantis. And you guys can make fun of him, the liberals. Or actually, even everybody can make fun of him for putting that mask on wrong, apparently. But luckily, I saw him speaking, and he didn't have it on. So good for him. What a mess. I have so much to get to, you guys. But let me get to some calls. First, let me get to Wayne out of North Carolina. First-time caller.
Hello, Hake.
Hey, Wayne. How are you?
How are you?
Doing fine.
Hey, I just want to say one thing. You guys, you and Jesse, awesome show. I try to listen to you every day, but I got to tell you, my wife has been a fan for the longest time, and even if she has to work all day, she comes home and listens to every hour that you guys are on. She plays it back.
That is nice.
So I'm telling you, and I stayed on the phone to try to get you. I tried to get Jesse because I know he does the happy birthday. She just celebrated her birthday yesterday. If you could just throw a shout out. I know you don't do the song. And I don't know if Jesse would be willing to do it tomorrow, if you could leave him a note to do it for Catherine. But I really just called for her because, like I said, she's a huge fan of you guys. And like I said, she gets me listening to it. And I love Jesse to death, awesome, and all the things he says, and, what the, that's my new one.
Nice, Wayne.
We tell everybody about you guys, so.
Appreciate that.
Just keep on what you're doing, and if you could shout that out to Catherine right now, I know she's listening, it'll make her day.
Catherine, I don't think we can play the birthday song anyways right now, right? All right, let's do this. This song, and I'm sure Jesse will do it too, is for you, Catherine. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Thank you, Wayne. It's nice to hear from you. And thank you to Catherine for faithfully catching the shows. That's cool.
Absolutely. You guys have an awesome day, and I really appreciate you taking my call.
All right. Take care, Wayne. That is cool. Let me get to Louie out of Idaho. Louie, how are you?
I'm doing all right. I get LBGTQ. What is IA?
The IA, I think, is intersex, and I forget what that means. And A
Okay.
is who knows what.
Okay.
Ambiguous.
James, all you got to do now is you want a really good job.
Thank you.
Is go in and say, listen, I think I'm a woman. If you're a man, I think I'm a woman. If you're a woman, I think I'm a man.
Yeah.
And just tell them you're gay, and then just sue the shit out of them if they don't hire you.
Okay.
I'm just joking around. Anyway, you know what? Yeah, I've been coughing for weeks. I want your advice. My son tells me that there's a place here that gives you free testing. I'll go tomorrow. I'll look it up right now.
Okay.
I'll go tomorrow, you know.
You want my advice?
Yeah.
Make sure you're drinking lots of water. Make sure you're getting rest. And get a little sunshine if you can.
Yeah, I do that. Yeah, I'll definitely
Get a little bit of walking in. And
Yeah.
make sure you're eating vegetables and fruit, a little bit of vegetables and fruit, and meat or soup, right? Hot soup.
Fasting is good for you too, you know.
Yeah, and then they say, I've heard from other people that garlic, turmeric, maybe a little bit of vinegar, like apple cider vinegar, especially.
Yeah, I have that. Yes, I do. Yep,
Do you?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Just things in general that are helpful to your immune system, and make
Couple
sure when you do
tablespoons a
sleep
day,
that
right?
that you sleep. It's actually important, I've heard, to sleep. The key hours to be sleeping are between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. Believe it or not, that's what I've heard. And don't drink too much water before you go to sleep. Like I've heard, don't drink. Make sure you're well hydrated by, throughout the day by 7 p.m. and then don't drink too much water after 7 p.m. because otherwise you have to get up during the night and that'll interrupt your sleep.
I'm really into fasting. I'm really into fasting also, you know.
Okay. Yeah, so that's stuff that I've heard that makes sense to me. And then don't go around people since you are coughing and stuff.
And no kidding. Go for the free test, all right? Get the free test tomorrow?
Well, that's up to you, man. Make sure you profile the place properly. If they look like they're clean and you're not going to get sicker over there.
I called them already. I called my doctor first of all.
Okay.
And then he said, I mentioned the hospital.
Yeah.
And I'll go there tomorrow. And they said, okay, no problem. So I'll do that.
Well, my advice is when you go over there, be aware of how they're taking care of the place. Be aware of the people over there because a lot of people go to
I just want it to be a drive-through. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Just be
be
cautious because people get sick at the doctors, I hear.
I know.
So you don't want to go there and get worse.
Hospital for decades, and doctors won't bring their children to hospitals.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I know that. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So just be careful and make sure you do Jesse Lee Peterson's silent prayer?
I pray a lot. I go to church normally every day. I go to daily mass, but there's no church anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
What about Jesse's church? Do you watch that?
No, I don't, and I don't. So suffer and die, I know.
No, I mean I'm not. You don't have to suffer and die for not watching Jesse's church, but do you do? Yeah. Are you aware of Jesse's silent prayer? You mentioned that you pray a lot.
I'm aware of it, but I don't know about it. I don't know about it yet.
Oh, okay. Do you have YouTube?
Yeah, of course I have YouTube.
Okay. If you go to the internet and type in on the internet browser silentprayer.video, that'll go right to
silent prayer
video.
Video, okay.
And that goes right to Jesse Lee Peterson's YouTube video of the silent prayer that he recommends people do, and it gives you a little bit of simple instructions on it.
I'll do it. I'll get into it. Thank you, man.
Yeah. Good luck, man.
All right. We'll talk again.
You're sounding okay, so I hope that you are fine, man.
Yeah, I hope so too. Thanks, man.
All right. Good luck. Take care. Let me read a few super chats. Jib Jab. says, wait for it. Alejandro Davila says, 2 hours of hate. Come on, man. Thank you. David from Kentucky, your show today is very stupid, James. Throw up. The virus is everywhere. Just go out and find it. I wasn't indicating that the virus is not there, but I do defend the rights of these people to go outside, get some exercise, right? Lord Nikon, but I appreciate the input, man. Lord Nikon, I think he's saying, you told Harpo to beat me. Maybe that's in response to that cop getting kicked off the subway platform. What a mess. Tabor. Oh, is it Tabor or Tabor? Ah, I'm blanking on your name. How to pronounce your name. Tabor or Tabor? Jay Eaton says, interesting how Jesse's guess in the Chinese government is a brainwashed cult. 1. 2, I graduated in 99, the last class without metal detectors in the halls. And I'm not sure which guest he's referring to that it's in the brainwashed cult. But thank you. Sion says, Jezebel Nancy Skeletor. I think, is she referring to Pelosi? I'm assuming yes. Why is it that peaceful people get the virus and not the evil ones? Oh, yeah, interesting. Good question. But you'll notice that the men get sick and die before the women in a lot of marriages. Donald Lassick says, best thing is sunlight and exercising. Thank you, Donald. So, and I am going to open the treasure chest in like 20 minutes or so. Oh, man, what the heck? I have more. Okay, Noah's Arkansas said no audio on D-Live. Thank you, but it's fixed now. Patrice O'Neill Groiper, have Ralph on. Nice idea. Hot computer smell? Meaning the Ralph retort, Ethan Ralph from the kill stream. Hot computer smell gave a diamond. Here, thank you. Beard the Butcher, men were meant to conquer reality, not escape it. Wow, that's deep, man. Thank you. And Army Ann has subscribed for another, I think 3 months is the last that I saw. Thank you, Army Ann. And appreciate you guys subscribing. You know what? Before I get back to calls, let me just make sure. Oh, I got to play this Las Vegas mayor. This is from Clay Travis on Twitter. Las Vegas's mayor calls for hotels and casinos to reopen. Says the shutdown makes no sense. Clip 1, Joelle.
Hotels and restaurants, our entire tourism and convention industry business has been shut down. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. From my perspective, we must open our city. We must open Southern Nevada, and we must open the state of Nevada.
Right on, lady. I agree with you. You have to be careful, but you don't have to be like oppressive towards businesses. They can take measures to protect themselves and their customers. Can't they? Seems like it. What a mess. I like how she has that deep smoker voice. I like deep voice. I said I like deep-voiced women. I've said that in the past. But I mainly like that she is she a Democrat? She gets kickbacks, according to some. But there's a lot of people who are upset, and there's a lot of Democrats who are playing everybody's mother and not letting people open up their businesses. One America News Network's Jack Posobiec, guy on Twitter, famous guy on Twitter, I guess, says U.S. officials suspect that the Wuhan Institute graduate student was COVID-19 patient 0, a female, and she gave it to her boyfriend, according to the story, and then it went on from there. Got out of that Wuhan lab is what the claim is. It's a suspicion, right? U.S. officials suspect this, right? News reports from a variety of U.S. sources confirm that U.S. intelligence services have high confidence that COVID-19 first spread from the virology lab due to lax safety procedures. And it wouldn't be the first time, honestly, because what I've read from Zero Hedge over months ago was that Senator Tom Cotton has said the same thing, that these Chinese labs that are like studying these things to come up with defense against against biological warfare, supposedly, right? They have leaked SARS multiple times. SARS being another coronavirus that from 2003 was an epidemic in China, killed like 800 people. A smaller epidemic, apparently. But I remember it being fairly big news, worldwide international news. That was when I noticed these Chinese people and Asians starting to wear those dust masks everywhere. And it's crazy. So it wouldn't be the first time. But Drudge saying it may not have come from Wuhan, according to some UK report. Who knows? And then Dr. Anthony Fauci, whom we don't exactly trust. He was a Hillary fan, even when she's what difference at this point does it make? That guy says he rejects the idea, according to Drudge headline. Dr. Anthony Fauci on the Trump task force, right, claims COVID-19. He rejects the claim that COVID-19 escaped from a lab, according to Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. Oops. I don't know if that was Canadian Broadcasting, actually. That's from The Sun. My bad. But it's not, so many unknowns, right? Nobody really knows what's going on. But then you have all these know-it-all, like liberals, who are on Twitter getting mad at these protesters and saying these protesters don't deserve to be treated if they get the coronavirus. They deserve to die from it. You're hearing things to this effect from idiots on Twitter who think that they know what's going on. And they pretend like they're so caring about other people. Yet they wish ill on these people who are protesting the shutdowns, because the shutdowns are not good for the country or for the people. So loving, right? So phony. But that's what pride and arrogance does. Trump's been going after a whole bunch of people. The media, the FBI, some of these governors, this liberal Michigan female governor. I never properly talked about her. Just let me talk about her real fast, because I've had this in the folder for ages. So many pictures. Okay, this woman looks to me, and I'm not trying to be mean, it just does, like Bruce Caitlyn Jenner. Bruce Jenner, I'm dead naming him. He goes by Caitlyn now. He changed his name. But on the left, if you're watching the video, you see this woman, Gretchen Whitmer, governor, Democrat of Michigan. And according to some people, the liberal media, she may be in the running as Joe Biden's running mate, because he supposedly promised or didn't promise or thinks that he wants to look at having a female running mate for vice president, as if he's even going to win. He's not. But this is that woman. And she doesn't look right to me. I think that she may have had plastic surgery done. That's my suspicion. Somebody said it, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that is plastic surgery face. And it looks a lot like Bruce Jenner. Like everybody who gets plastic surgery, after a while, they start to look more and more. There's Bruce Jenner young, and there's Bruce Jenner as a so-called imitation woman. But there's something about it, like their eyebrows go higher or something. And they just have this, they all start to look related. They start to look the same. There it is again. That's really gross, actually. I'm sorry to be showing you guys these pictures. Sorry, kids. Maybe you're not as disturbed as I am. Maybe I'm a little too queasy. But that's Gretchen Whitmer. I want to say she's 46 or 48. So she's kind of young to be putting that much on, that surgery face. What a shame. She's a Trump hater, though. 48. Used to be pretty, actually. There's a picture of her family. I'm showing you a picture of Actually, it's not a real family. It is a so-called family. And let me tell you why. Just to go into a little side note stuff here. What this says is Governor Whitmer and her husband, Dr. Mark Mallory, a dentist, I think, have a blended family of 5. And I didn't know what blended family was until I heard the Jesse Lee Peterson show on it. He did a show on blended families. That's when the man already has kids, perhaps by another marriage, and the woman already has kids, and they get married together, and then they both have stepchildren. Isn't that evil? She has daughters, and he has 3 sons. Wow. How does a man who has 3 sons... Anyways, whatever. Wouldn't that be humiliating to your wife as a governor? I guess that's what happened to the Palins, too, Sarah Palin. What a shame. They all live in Michigan. And family time is a 3-generation affair. Evenings together are the most important time of the day. Fake. What a shame. It's an imitation of the real family. But look at her young picture. Do you have that young portrait picture of her? With her red shirt. Gov. Whitmer, Portmaster. There it is. And if you look closely, you can tell. If you zoom in on her face, she looks prettier here. But if you look closely, it's either too much makeup or airbrushing. And I'm not trying to pick on her, but I can't help it. But what a shame. So, is she white? Is she full on white? I can't tell. But I just wanted to show you, that's the woman who's been hating Trump, and Trump has railed on her, rightly so. She's a mess. And Jesse warned against blended families, but she didn't know better. Neither, apparently, did her husband. What a mess. So I've told you guys about the attacks on free speech. And so let me get to some calls. The attacks on true speech, really. It's an attack on true speech, but it is an attack on the freedom of speech, too. Hold on. Let me get to Jesse out of Texas. Jesse, what's up?
Hey there, how you doing, Hank? Good morning.
Good morning.
So, you know, I'm respectful. I don't cuss. I don't argue. But in the past, you cut me off because sometimes I get straight to the point. You know what I mean? And in this case...
how do you know that's why I cut you off?
Well, for example, when you had Bosch over, and I don't care. I can get to the point. It doesn't offend me, but I just want to say, because you're talking about free speech and stuff. When Bosch was there, I asked Bosch, the thing is that homosexuals, for the most part, have been sexually abused, which is why it's bad.
Were you vulgar? Maybe you were vulgar.
No. All I said is, let me ask you something, Bosch. Have you been sexually molested or sexually abused or something like that?
Yeah.
But my point is, because
but you don't know why I cut you off. It might have been we were running low on time, or it might have been it was a little too explicit.
Yeah.
And so you're just assuming. You're assuming that it's because you got so-called straight to the point.
What? Yeah. Just anyway, a great show. But speaking of homosexuality, we got to talk about who brought homosexuality into this country and why we have so much homosexuality in this country. And because
why do we need to talk about that?
Well, I guess we don't need to talk about that because we were talking about Bosch. So then we started to revisit that. Anyways.
Yeah, Bosch is the previous guest, guys. So he's pansexual. Gross. And he's a Marxist.
He's a smart guy, but he's
an intellectual.
He brings in the wrong kind of intellectual and the wrong kind of influence into the culture.
Yeah.
And then so popular bringing in. Anyways, I was going to talk about, I forgot what I was going to talk about, but the second thing I was going to talk about is wish happy birthday to Uncle A. I think Jesse wished happy birthday to Uncle A earlier. And just going back to homosexuality.
And who's Uncle A? Who's Uncle A?
Uncle A is a guy that banned homosexuality in the 30s in Germany.
Is he still living?
No, he's dead.
Oh, how come you're wishing happy birthday to a dead guy?
Because he's a historic figure. So there's a lot of people that are wishing him happy birthday because he's a historic figure.
What a shame.
And he's the guy that everybody says is evil, but the guy that, because he was defeated in World War II,
yeah,
which is why we have all this liberalism, why we had the women's rights.
He's talking about Adolf Hitler, guys.
Why we have the Immigration Act, why maybe even, the thing is that the people that...
But, man, you have to put responsibility on human beings, on the individuals.
That's fine.
It's not fine, it's true. You got to put responsibility on the individuals who embrace the homosexuality, who embrace hatred and anger and lies and stuff like that. Otherwise, you're not. You can look to historical events that did change the world for the worse, and I don't disagree. The World War II wasn't a positive thing. It didn't it give us the United Nations, which is a disgusting organization? So yeah, you're right. There is a whole lot of evil people calling Hitler evil when they're evil. So I don't totally disagree, but whatever. I don't know.
My thing is that the media does a great job at basically swaying everybody's opinions and turning black against white, turning Mexican against white, turning all these people against each other, and then telling us what is good for us and what is bad for us, like saying a word.
But doesn't that make you glad for people like Jesse, who puts the responsibility back on those blacks who turn against the whites? Because if the blacks weren't suckers, then they wouldn't be swayed by the media. And yeah, you can say that the media is influential, and they are, but it comes back down to individuals, families. If the families were right and strong, the whites would not have allowed their country to be taken over.
Yeah, well, you got the NAACP, you got the ADL that really influence everything. Plus, you got
I don't have them.
No, I understand,
but
they influence so many people until that they're victims. And the ADL and the NAACP is led by the same people.
So do you see whites falling in their footsteps, though? The whites are taking on this victim mentality and attacking them as though they're victims now. And you can say, yes, the whites are victimized in a way, but they have to overcome it rather than complain about it. You can point them out. You can point out the ADL is evil, and they are. They're a defamation league. They're not anti-defamation league. They're a
foreign agent.
Yeah. But anyways, man, I appreciate it. Let's talk again, man.
Thank you, Hank.
All right.
Yeah, you have a great day.
You too. Take care. Let me get to Skip out of Augusta, Georgia. What's up, Skip?
Hey, Hank, what's going on with you, man?
Not much. How are you?
Well, look. All right. Well, looking at it and call and talk about no queers or anything. That's the last thing on my mind is a queer. So
how come you mentioned it?
I'm just letting you know because the last caller, he was talking about homosexuals, queers, or pansexual. So, but anyhow, let me ask you something. Well, I ain't gonna ask you something. I'm just gonna say something.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Let me ask you something. All right. So women with raspy voices is what you like. You like that hate?
Say that again?
You like them women with the raspy voices and smoker voice?
Oh.
Smoker voice?
Sometimes. Some of those women who are smokers, they're really judgmental, but they kind of, at times, they tell the truth. And that's kind of refreshing sometimes, rather than these phony sweet women.
I tell you what used to do it for me, and that's pretty feet. I love pretty feet.
I didn't say I was attracted to
She could be
them.
ugly. She could be ugly as sin, but she's got some pretty feet, man. Please. But anyhow,
that's too
that
much
ain't
for
what
me,
I called you about. That ain't what I called you about. But
right.
you got me thinking about it. Look at here. These people around here in Augusta, I don't know about where you at, but they have gone mask crazy around here. Me and Stacey went a few days ago.
Crazy?
Mask. Wearing these masks.
Yeah. Same here. Same over here.
Me and Stacey went to the laundromat a few days ago to do our laundry, and there's probably about 20 people in there, and every one of them had a mask on. Looked like they was getting ready to plan a robbery somewhere or something.
Yeah.
And when we pulled up, I drive an old pickup truck, and I ain't got no shirt on, got my ball cap on, and Stacey goes in, and she takes the laundry, And I noticed they all looking at her like she's an outsider, you know, because she didn't have her mask on.
Yeah.
You know, and I noticed that a lot here. If you don't, you know, you see people with masks on and they see you without one,
they judge you.
Like they judge you. That's right.
Yeah, that's a shame.
It's crazy.
Yep.
And I went to the Cumberland Clinic to get my blood checked this morning to see if it was too thick or too thin. You know, I had to take blood thinner.
Yeah.
And they took my temperature before I went in, and which is crazy. But usually that office is jam packed with patients in there.
Yeah.
And it was about 9 o'clock when we got there this morning, and they opened at 8, and they told me I was the first one there this morning.
Wow.
And they're hard, you know. At least it's they really need to see them. They're just not. They just don't see anybody anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it just don't make sense. And as far as all these jobs being shut down, people losing their jobs and losing their businesses. I got a friend here in Augusta, and I've known him for a long time, and he's worked so hard, Hake, to have his own business. He owns a bar here in Millersville.
Yeah.
And not Millersville, but Augusta. And he worked hard and he saved. I mean, he worked 2 jobs. He did everything he could to get this business going, and he was doing good, real good. But now, you know, he's got a GoFundMe page asking for people to help him because, you know, he's about to lose everything he's got, and he's a hard-working boy. I mean, a hard-working guy.
Yeah.
It just don't make sense, you know.
What a shame, man. I agree with you.
They shut the country down over this coronavirus.
Yeah.
And more people die from the flu every year than they do the coronavirus.
I mean, I don't know what's going on, but I don't agree with these shutdowns because these are run by people who aren't looking out for us. They're not about the people. You know, you have this Governor Newsom in California claiming that he's not going to be swayed by politics, but that's all he's about is politics. So it's so phony. And so I agree with you on that part that all these shutdowns and these useful idiots, you could call them, judging one another for so-called not social distancing or not wearing a mask, it's really evil. I mean, it's kind of exploiting the weakness and the evil of the people and just turning them against each other. It's ridiculous. But I'm encouraged to see that Trump is for opening up the economy as responsibly as we can, you know? And these people protesting, I'm glad that he's defending them from the media smears and the Democrat and RINO smears. So that's encouraging to see that there's somebody at the top kind of representing us, you know?
I was listening to some talk radio this morning.
Yeah.
And they was talking to a guy out in Seattle. You know, they had to protest or whatever about, you know, bringing the economy back and, you know, letting people go back to work. And this one guy said that in Washington State that he can't even go fishing, just personal fishing.
Yeah.
You know, to feed his family. He can't even fish.
That's ridiculous.
They'll lock him up for fishing.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
It's crazy, man.
It is.
It's totally crazy.
It's evil, and I think that they want to make people mad. They like, you know, like I've speculated about this before, that they like making white men angry at the insanity and drive some of the white men insane so that they go on shootings and crazy things like that. And then they say, yo, look, angry white men, we need to clamp down on their rights, take away their Second Amendment and their First Amendment and stuff. So,
well, Hake, I think you're dead right, because look at it now. People are starting to stand up and starting to see, not everybody, but some are, and they're starting to protest, and they're starting to, you know, go against the establishment a little bit. It's like, you're right. I feel like they all want the Civil War, or they don't want peace. It's not about peace.
Yeah.
Because what they're doing right now is the last thing can help with peace.
Right. Thank you, Skip. I got to go, man. Good talking with you. Take care of yourself.
You too, Hake.
All right. You
Too,
exercising? You getting a little exercise?
Yeah, I get up and down a little bit.
Well, keep at it, man.
Not as much as I should, but I'm doing.
I
good,
know.
sir.
I'm the same
Thanks,
way.
buddy.
I'm the same way, man. We gotta get a healthy white man, right? All right. Talk to you later, man.
All right, buddy. Bye.
Take care. Let me get to Frank, first-time caller out of Georgia. Frank, thanks for holding, man. What's up?
Hey, what's going on, Hake?
Hey.
Hey, I just wanted to give you a call. I know you're running low on time here, man. Just wanted to tell you, man, I really enjoyed the show, man. Really enjoyed the show. I was a little optimistic at first, man, but you've really grown on me, man. You're
I appreciate that.
Best thing on the airways, man. Best thing besides Jesse, man. You're coming up.
That's
really
cool.
coming into your flow, and I really see you, man. I really do. I enjoy listening to you. I just wanted your take real quick, man, on, well, I know what I think. Tucker, 2024. What do you think about that?
I don't picture him running for president, but if he did, I would totally support him. I hope that he gets stronger and stronger because he does have the right viewpoints, I think, in a lot of things. And, even where he disagrees with Trump, I'm like, he's making good points about Trump in some cases, right? Sometimes he's like, I think he falls a little bit for the political correctness thing, believe it or not, about Trump.
He has a platform that he has to follow.
True.
I'm surprised he's been on Fox as long as he has.
Yeah. Yeah, but
So-
I like the guy. And if he ran, I would support him. I mean, I would be like, I'm going to keep an eye on him and watch him. But in general, I'm very
Who
supportive
else
of what
is
he's
there,
about.
though? I mean, because you hear, some Junior and things of that nature. It all sounds good, but
Oh,
if you
yeah.
really look in the political spectrum, there's not really anyone else but RINOs, man.
It's
you
true.
know? And I know. So he has a name for himself. But again, I'm not going to keep you. I know you run a long time. And Joel, I'm digging the music, man, and I ain't heard that song is What's Wrong with the Black, man. Where'd that song go?
Yeah, we need that song back.
Hey, I really appreciate it. I'll call you again when you got some more time, brother.
All right. Thank you, man. As Medora gave a diamond and said, Tucker is the most important man in the media now. And that's true. And that's nice. It's encouraging. As much as, Fox News has its issues, hey, they got Tucker. I like Hannity. Hannity's nice too. That's cool. So that's cool. And that's true. Let me read a few more of these super chats. Hold on. Patrice O'Neill Groiper gave a diamond and said pansexual means Vaush does horrible things sexually. True. Man. And then let me read a few super chats on the YouTube. Lord Nikon said COVID-19 is fake. I don't know if I agree with that, man, but okay. Red Green, but a lot of the reaction to it is fake. You're right. Red Green Show says, since you don't, when tipped, you cut your own hair, Hake. Since you don't, when tipped, you cut your own hair, Hake. Yeah, I did cut my hair. I didn't understand that. I'm a little English as a second language right now. Jib Jab says, Hake, what are your thoughts on Governor Andrew Cuomo's speech on facts are facts and opinions are opinions describing the coronavirus? I think Cuomo's a phony. He's not to be trusted. Bible Go-To Guy in Donning Armor, I'm sorry I couldn't get to you guys. Let's talk again tomorrow, and I am working towards this second hour, but we just have to iron out these issues first, all right? Sound reasonable? Yes. All right, guys, and congratulations to the people who won lemons on the treasure chest, Obama chest. All right, guys. TheHakeReport.com for my show, JLPTalk.com for Jesse Lee Peterson's show, TheFallenState.tv for The Fallen State with Katie Hopkins. It came out. And then this week, Stefan Molyneux. Nice. All right, guys, take care.